To you. Welcome to week number 5, writing about love, sex, and intimacy. Professor Jen here. Thank you for letting me into your virtual world. I have a couple topics for you tonight. Thank you to Captioning Services for everything that you do for us, as we couldn't do it without you. And if I keep looking down, it's just because I'm following my notes. First, I'd like to take the time to talk to you about the research topic and research paper. That's going to be coming up for week number 8. We're in week number 5 now. You should really be following my assignments, which are posted online. I'm hoping that you're doing so. And start isolating a topic and, of course, your sources. I do need to let you know that you will have to have a peer edit partner for your term paper project. So you might want to introduce yourself to somebody in the class now if you haven't already. Again, I'll repeat that. You will want to make sure that you have a peer edit partner, as that will be part of your grade. 2 particular topics tonight I'd like to cover in my lecture cast. Both of them are very interesting little topics, so we'll have little mini lectures. And I would like to also post some questions in our chat room for the purpose of classroom discussion. The first topic I would like to discuss is, of course, can somebody love too much? Is there such a thing? We know that sometimes people can be in a situation where they don't love enough, but can somebody really love too much? And I had a student years ago in writing about love, sex, and intimacy. Though I don't offer this course every quarter, I bring it out every now and then when I feel like I need a little, I don't know, perk for myself, because this is such an interesting topic. And somebody once told me, a student who was about 18 or 19, that it was her opinion, and I really like this. She said it was her opinion that the person who loves the least is the one who has the most power. I'll repeat that. The person who loves the least in a relationship has the most power. And I said to her, what do you mean? And she said that it's because you're not as invested, you can't get as hurt as the person who's overly invested, hence the person who loves too much. And she also went on to explain, and I do agree with her, she said that the person who loves too much sometimes winds up not only codependent, but sometimes overcompensating for the entire relationship, almost as if like you play sports, thinking that, the idea that, you have to run with the ball, you have to pick up where the rest of the weakness of the team is, etc. And that person who loves too much not only loves the other person, but loves the relationship as if that's also personified and everything that comes with it. I'll give you an example. I have this friend that's in a relationship with another woman. She's a woman, she's in a relationship with another woman, and the woman had broken up with her and moved out of state. And this friend of mine, we'll just call her Susan for the sake of anonymity, this friend of mine, she had talked recently to me about, the significant loss of this relationship, since now it's obviously over. And she said some things that I thought was very interesting. And I'm not going to make any judgments because it's not fair for me to judge, but she said some things that are interesting, so you can be the judge. She said that she missed the person that she thought she was in love with that broke up with her. She said she missed the fact that this person that she was in love with was also the main financial breadwinner. She said she missed the fact that this person had provided her with financial security and safety. She said she missed the fact that this person did the cooking. And this list went on. She missed the fact that this person did the cleaning. She missed the fact that this person provided the vacations. She missed the fact that this person's parents also did a lot of housekeeping for them. And then she finally made a statement that really got my attention. She said, well, she came with a lot in a package. And of course, I didn't say this to my friend Susan, but I sort of thought this to myself. Well, she broke up with you, and what did you bring to the table with your package? Because the whole conversation that my friend kept having is what it was that she was constantly getting on the receiving end. There's an old Hebrew saying that every relationship is dependent on some level of bringing something to the table. I'm sorry if I keep moving around. I'm just trying to readjust this. And this Hebrew saying says that you have to bring one of three things. Either you have to be really wealthy, or you have to be really good looking, and if you're not one of the two, you have to really be nice. And it's really lucky if you find somebody with all three, or if you're with that person with all three. But if you're not, you have to come to the table with something. You can't just keep taking and taking and taking, because what happens, as they say in Hebrew, is that after a while you stop getting invited to come to the table, and therefore you don't get to eat anything. So I bring to you this little cultural metaphor. The other discussion I wanted to have with you this evening is this notion that people have really battled back and forth for many years, whether it's two men, two women, or a traditional heterosexual couple, and the whole issue of finding intimacy and sexual gratification without any love. And is that really possible? Is it really possible that people can find this exceptional level of pleasure and awareness without having any love for the person? And I've spent a lot of time researching this topic. I tell you, a lot of time, probably 2 decades. And really, I don't have a conclusion. It seems very mixed. Some people talk about being able to find sexual happiness with a partner and having no love at all, whereas the other half of this audience often tell me that they need to have some emotional or love connection or to have gratification. So of course you know where I'm going with this. I'm going to ask you each to go out and interview some people and report back to chat room number 5 this week, because if nothing else, you're going to learn some interesting things about people's reactions to these questions. I want to talk a little bit about the research paper while we're here this evening. As you can see, tonight will be a brief lecture because I know you have a lot of work to do. It is midterm week, and I am going to post up some things tonight, Tuesday evening, that I'd like done by this Friday. These term papers, projects, I really don't want you to write it for me because I'm sort of irrelevant. I want you to write them for you. I want you to find a topic that you can go to and say in 10 years, gee, I really learned a lot from this topic when I was in college, and I'm going to apply it to my everyday life. Or maybe you'll find a topic that will please you so much that when you're done with this class, maybe over the summer, you'll pick up some more reading material and you'll say, you know, I want to look into this further, and I want to make this journey for myself without Professor Jen hovering over me and grading me and watching my comma splices and everything else. I really want you to pick a topic that means something to you. Currently, in my own life, I'm researching something about love, sex, and intimacy. I don't mind sharing what that is with you, as we're all students in some way, shape, or form. And this is sort of an eerie topic. I'm wondering what your opinion is. If you have one, please share it in the chat room with me as your now fellow researchers. But I'm sort of, this is a strange topic, and I'll give you a little bit of a background. I have some people in my life, or I should say had, but I sort of still have them, and they have since passed away. One happened to be my friend Frank. I think I might have talked about him before here. And one other person happened to be my dad, who died when I was 9 years old. And though I'm going to be 50, so my dad died really 41 years ago, I miss him very, very much. And as I get older, this is so crazy. As I get older, I find that I write him notes. Obviously, I have no place to send them, and he's probably never going to read them. But I write them because I write them for myself. I guess they're sort of called like notes you're never going to send, the letter you're never going to send. And so it's my way, I guess, of being intimate with my dad, who's been gone for so many years, missed a lot of things. He missed 2 weddings, 1 divorce, 5 kids, I don't know how many dogs, cats, etc. And then I think about my friend Frank all the time. And I write him notes, obviously, that I can't send because he's gone and departed into another world. But I'm researching this idea that people are still able to maintain intimacy with people that have passed on and how it is that they do that. So I'm interested in what your thoughts are, if you have any, for the purpose of my research. So again, I need you to pay attention to the assignment deadline dates, which I do post in the room chat, for the assignments. We do need to get working feverishly on these papers because by week 8 I'm going to need them. And the reason I need it week 8 is, end of week 8 I might add, is because most of you will probably need to make some corrections if you'd like to have a better grade. And this way you'll have weeks 9 and week 10 in order to do that, which I think is very, very fair. So we do need to get on this. Again, I'll repeat, you do need to find an editing partner for the research paper. And you should be getting back all of the stuff that I'm grading for you right now through this mechanism of my courses, which I'm thrilled to do. Again, I'll reiterate that the difference really for me between an A and a B is that the assignments are handed in to me timely, meaning when I have a deadline, they're there, and that they're done well, and if they need to be redone, that you're able to do them. Also, we need to be chatting and discussing things in the room that have to do with the topics and the research. And that will define the difference between an A and a B. At this point in the game, a few of you, very few of you, have really not submitted anything. And I've sent you emails, and if you responded back to me, great, and if you haven't, there's nothing I can do for you at this point. And so either you're going to make a choice to either move on and try and attempt to do some of the curriculum, or I guess we'll have to have another discussion during office hours. That's entirely up to you. So it's been a brief lecture. I gave you some things to think about. I am going to post this lecture tonight, Tuesday, and following this lecture I am going to post some questions that I need you to get out there and start interviewing people, and then reporting back to us in week 5 chat. So I thank you again for letting us into your world, this virtual place, and it's always a pleasure. I wish you a good midterm week. Study hard. And for those of you, very few of you, who have not handed in the assignment to me, I don't know what to tell you. Get working, please. And thank you again. Good night to you all, and be well. Bye.